Welcome to The Sugar Show, an inspirational podcast for savvy body sugaring professionals and those who are curious and want to learn to sugar. Have you felt alone on this journey of learning to sugar? Did you feel like you didn't learn enough in your company's certification class and are hungry for more? Are you craving more ideas on how to grow your business? Or what the latest products are you can use on your clients along with sugaring? Here's your host and guide for all things sweet, Shannon, the Sugar Mama. She's an esthetician, author, speaker, mom, sugar biz owner, and most importantly, a sugar professional, just like you. She helps estheticians all over the world not only learn to sugar, but to build their skills and confidence so they can not only set themselves apart, but provide the most amazing experience for their clients. In each Sugar Show, you are going to get help and inspiration, not only from Shannon, but from her very favorite colleagues who are doing amazing things that you should know about. This is The Sugar Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of The Sugar Show. I am your host, Shannon the Sugar Mama, and today I am here with Richard Maher. He is the National Educator for LightStim. Hi, Richard.
Hello, good afternoon, and good whatever time it is to people whenever you're listening in. It could be night, I don't know.
They're listening after they put the kids to bed or, maybe even on a walk. We're in their ear for the next half an hour. Isn't that fun?
Oh, it's going to be such a blast. I can spend hours talking to you, but we'll get it down to time.
We'll get it down because these folks are busy and they've got a lot to do. But we do want to pack a punch today because there is a lot to know about LED technology, and we all know about sugaring that are listening to the Sugar Show. So I met you, I think at the Skin Games.
Yeah, that sounds right. It was at the Skin Games first. Our dear Shauna Rocha was the person to introduce us together, who is near and dear to both of our hearts.
She's like, you need to be you. Come here. And so we met, and it was love at first sight as far as, what LED can do with sugaring. And you were fascinated by sugaring as a form of hair removal. And I was fascinated with LED, and the rest is history.
How sweet it is.
Right? And so at the, I believe it was the Long Beach show, I actually got a handheld unit, and I have been using it in my sugaring treatment room. And my mind's kind of blown, to be honest, because if for those of you that are on the video portion of this podcast, I won't blind you, but this beautiful handheld unit has been what I've been using in my treatment room ever since you and I met. And I am seeing really, really beautiful results. And so I wanted to invite you on the show so that you could really help us to understand why this little panel of lights is of such benefit to those folks. Some people will know about LED in general, and Richard, some people will not know necessarily how to use it post-sugar. So let's start with how LED lights even work. The Cliff Notes version.
At the very base, we all remember from middle school photosynthesis with plants. Plants were able to absorb that sunlight, turn that sunlight into chlorophyll, that green color that it's then used to thrive, grow, and have energy. And what's really neat is light therapy at its base can work on the cellular level in the same way, where we can create different chemical reactions to do things like kill bacteria, reduce inflammation, or even increase blood flow and circulation, which of course brings more oxygen and nutrients and more life. And much like a solar panel as well, we can absorb that light, translate that light into energy that, say, the body can use for a lot of different processes. So much like how sugaring is a much more natural alternative, we can work naturally with the body's own processes to help it take care of itself better, which unfortunately, as we age, your body starts to lose that capability slowly but surely. So anything that we can do that can help, that's no downtime, it's non-invasive, it brings so much benefit. And personally, as someone who in the tech industry is called an early adopter, I try everything right away, but usually tend to get bored with something once it's not new. It's been a long relationship with LED where I still haven't lost interest. We're still in the honeymoon period after years and years.
Which is actually kind of fun because when I brought sugaring to you, you're like, oh, we can use it post sugar. And it's almost like that new thing that you get to try it out with. It's fun. It's like, oh, what can my LED panel do with this? This is fun. And it just kind of sparks it all over again, right?
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned the larger panels, which are great because they cover a huge amount of surface. They don't need to touch the skin, but it's great to work for a place that offers a full circle assortment, because honestly, our handhelds are the same strength as our larger hands-free panel units. So no matter the treatment room, the size, if they're mobile, it's where they can get the same treatment no matter what, and really just have a client-centric approach, because it should all be about being able to offer the client the best service possible with the best results possible. And no matter what, you're getting something that's going to be able to do that.
You know, Richard, you had me lay under the panel at the trade show. And so I'm on the middle of the trade show floor and I'm having my moment underneath this panel. And of course, my marketing entrepreneur brain is going and I'm thinking, oh, this would be divine to do a sugar service and then lay under these delightful warm lights, you know, and to just know that it's healing the skin. And I was really thinking to myself, it is time to save up for that panel. So that's on my Christmas list.
You and me, let's talk, because I don't know what I would do without my panel. I'm 100% LightStim now, but I am a massage therapist and esthetician. But I brought that panel home once I concentrated more on LightStim and what's going on there. And goodness, if that isn't part of everything that I do daily, every part of my body. But if I ever get anything done to my face, much less just a quick swap on my eyebrows, it's one of those things where I have that Irish bog person skin that gets red even just with you looking at me on this video camera.
Shannon O'Brien, my friend. I'm an Irish white girl. That is me.
But
yes, I need all kinds of help with this sweet skin of mine.
But having something like this in order to help reduce that redness immediately, gosh, it's something I wish I had in my youth, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was really surprised at how it does reduce redness, because, you know, you think about it, it's like, okay, well, the panel is warm and the lights are red. You would think that it would cause more redness, like just maybe because of the color. Help everyone understand how LED works to calm down inflammation.
So with LED, different colors react to different light reactive parts of your skin and even cells. And so some of the things we're doing is going to be to help with activation of the lymph system, helping with getting that circulation going. And more we even take a look at other skin disorders like rosacea or broken capillaries. We would probably think, oh, I need to avoid circulation, but getting that blood flow moving and getting everything to work how it's supposed to actually a lot of the time leads to better benefit, because these systems are then being moderated and more movement is more life. It's something that's true in massage. It's something that's true in a lot of holistic care. And it's true with something like post hair removal as well.
Fascinating. Yeah. And I have some clients that say, oh, wait, is this like sitting, you know, like in a tanning bed? You know, how is the light different, and how does like tanning bed rays hurt us where LED is actually helpful?
Oh, great question. And it's one that we get a lot.
I bet.
And it's
especially
a good question.
Panel, right?
Oh, yeah.
It feels like a tanning bed. It's just divine, but I'm sure people are wondering about it.
Oh, exactly. And it's really the energy of light that's being used, because once you get to ultraviolet, or right above what we can see with our eyes into that territory, it's these very short, very high energy wavelengths that are just sucker punching the top layers of your skin over and over with this high energy. And it's high enough to be what's called ionic. Not to get too deep, but that's where it's starting to mess with the electrons on your molecules, making them unstable, making it so it can be carcinogenic and cancer causing mutations when they try to create new cells. Once we get to what we can see with our eyes and the blue spectrum and the rest of the rainbow, that RGB, it becomes less energetic and becomes more of a light that's just going to bathe the cells, and they can just take it up naturally. And so depending on which ones you're using in that range, or even down in infrared, you're just working with the body's natural processes with light that's broad enough to not be causing any sort of controlled injury, like, say, a laser, but also isn't high enough energy, like UV that you think of with the tanning beds, to cause issues. Funny enough, we actually have a lot of people who are addicted to the sensation of tanning, much like people who are addicted to the ritual of smoking. It's not actually the nicotine after a while that they're addicted to. It's a whole ritual process. So they actually use their device almost like a diversion to get that same feeling, but without any of those harmful negative effects. It's actually potentially helping with the damage done in their past. So.
Wow, I never thought of that. Huh, yeah. I can see how it would be addicting though, because it's just this, it's almost like a caress, like a warm caress, like this very safe, warm, like when you get into a nice warm car and it just feels, it's not hot, it doesn't burn the skin, it just feels comforting is the way I would describe it.
Exactly. I liken it to lying down at the beach, but without any of that stress of being like, oh no, what if I didn't put up enough sunscreen? What if I fall asleep for more than a half hour? You kind of get that same calm feeling. And red and infrared light, for the most part, hasn't been shown to really affect circadian rhythm. So a lot of people go to that meditative place where they get the rapid eye movement of their eyes fluttering. A lot of professionals will even have guided meditations playing during that time that they're underneath the panel, because it's such a relaxing experience that it adds to that mindfulness and stress reduction aspect as well.
Yes. Okay, so my gears are turning as well. I used to actually have a facial treatment that I would do guided meditation through. They would put it in their earbuds, and I would use essential oils. So I would have them breathe in essential oils while guided meditation. I can only imagine what a beautiful additional service this would easily be to bring to your clients. You know, you sugar them, and then you can put on like a beautiful post serum, anti-inflammatory, like a nice calming serum, and then put the LightStim on, have a guided meditation. I mean, you can step out and, they came to get hair taken out of their body, and they're leaving just like in this state of euphoria, just this, who would have thought that pulling hair out of their body would turn into a relaxing, heart-centered service.
And that's really what it's about, is just making it so that people want to come back and they start to associate something positive and don't have that feeling like, oh, I'm about to go get this hair removal service again, which they don't feel as much with sugaring because it's so much less painful than some of the alternatives anyways. But any way to elevate that experience, it just adds so much. And then when you look and feel better getting off that table, and you just love what you see and who you see in the mirror, because everything's going on that health. And much to that effect, since we are increasing circulation as well, a lot of what people think makes them look beautiful from tanning is actually that increased circulation. And so you're getting that same increase of circulation that works on that subliminal level, and you don't need to have any of that bodily natural response to injury or stress that is the creation of melanin. And so you just get all the benefit of looking more beautiful from the outside in.
And it really does make a difference. I mean, there is a glow. You're right. It's a from the inside out now.
It's both ways, and I love it. I always call it a pregnancy glow because man, woman, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that there's something a little bit different, something that looks a little bit healthier. What's going on?
Yeah,
And
for
so,
sure. You know, I think about a lot of the reason why I got into sugaring was because I wanted to set myself apart.
sure.
If you know this about me, but I actually, about 10 years ago when we had the recession, I was doing facials. I had moved to a new city. I didn't know a soul. I was doing facials and I had to figure out a way to set myself apart, which is why I chose to learn sugaring, because I just heard about it. I'd had it done to me. And I thought, oh, wow, this is really going to kick me up a notch because nobody in my area was doing it, right?
Sure.
So I learned how to sugar. It was a game changer for me. I mean, it literally took my business to now where it is now, you know, just to new heights. But what I find now is how can I make that experience even more amazing? And when I'm using, it's so funny, just little paddle of lights, you know, really has done that and has created this add-on that no one else does. So even if they sugar now, because more people are doing sugaring, now, well, when you go to Sugar Mamas, you get a little extra love. And not only are you reducing redness, you know, we don't get as much redness with sugar versus wax, but there is some. It's just, you know, the way
It's just a part of the process.
it's part of the process, right? And so now when I use the LED lights, this little LightStim handheld, I mean, just this small amount of panels, even just, it just is this extra set yourself apart, really create that client needs to come back to you. They don't just want to, they need to. And you're creating that need, which is, it's a game, it's a business changer, you know, because you're not just, you know, rip and run. You're really caring for their skin and you really set yourself apart as an esthetician because you know what's best for their skin. And the two of them, sugaring and LightStim, I have been pleasantly surprised, have really kind of taken my game to the next level, Richard.
Well, I'm so happy like you said, you're willing to set yourself apart, but you don't keep it a secret. You go, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm incorporating these things together.
Wow.
But it's about elevating our industry, sharing education. And education is really one of those ways you set yourself apart. It's not just having these services, it's knowing the best way in order to use these services. How can I incorporate these services together to create something truly unique and unlike what else is out there?
Absolutely.
Because I mean, people ask all the time, when will I see results using LED? And while LED alone can be great, in physics, they always talk about, I think it's emergent properties, where something put together is inexplainable by their parts. What you can see with sugaring an LED, what you can see with LED and microcurrent and a biocellulose mask, all these things put together, it's one of the ways 1 + 1 can equal 3 and really set yourself apart as a professional in our industry.
Absolutely, because it's not just about washing faces or pulling hair out of eyebrows. It's not about that anymore. It's about the whole client and the whole experience. And if you can just combine experiences like this to really pack a punch in a gentle, do no harm kind of way, it really does set you apart, truly. And that's what people talk about. You know, we're so like twisty about social media, right? But really it's about word of mouth. Social media at its core is about word of mouth. And to have this differentiation for your services really does, I'm having a moment, but it really does take it up a notch. So it's like, hey, I want to tell my friends about this, you know, because I had my brows done, but God, it was so much more than that. I never expected it, you know, and it really does lend itself nicely to credibility, you know?
It really does. Word of mouth is the #1 still to this day, especially in our industry and in the spa industry as a whole, because we can't be outsourced. This is something where you do go see someone, you see them one-on-one. And so being able to have people communicate what they're receiving is amazing. And to say, oh no, I'm not just getting my sugaring done. This is a whole other thing. I don't even know.
Yeah. This is something else that's going on over there. So I have a confession to make, and I'm holding up, for those of you on the podcast, I'm holding up the handheld again. When LED kind of first came on the scene at trade shows, and you'd walk by these booths and there was flashing lights and, these units, be them panels or the handheld, and there was lights and it was very neon and, and I'd walk by and go, yeah, I don't get it. Right?
I was the same.
What does that have to do with me? And I think it's just a bunch of hooey. Like,
why wouldn't I just hold my face up to a Christmas tree? Because
right?
Those are LEDs too.
Right. Like, I mean, that was for a long time. That's how people felt. And, I think that it's so key. And I think that a lot of estheticians kind of felt the same way about sugar. Like, okay, it's so much better than wax, right? Like, okay, lights are so great. LED is going to be like your, life changer. And it wasn't until I got properly educated on both. And when Shauna said, girl, you really need to take a look at this LightStim. I really think we could do something with the sugar. She wasn't kidding. And then I have learned so much from you and from the reps at the show that I've encountered. And I think what I'd like to really tell the audience is, when you are hearing about emerging technologies, and this is a technology that's been around for a while, of course, sugaring's been around for a while, but sugaring, a lot of people haven't even heard of it. In fact, Jenny on Lip Gloss and Aftershave, I had Barry and Jenny on a show. Jenny's like, I don't even know what this is.
Oh, I listened to that episode. I love me my Barry and Jenny. And
right?
So
I was like, you've been living in a cave? Like, how do you not know what sugaring is? And, so now I have to sugar them at the next show.
Oh, no question.
Right? But I think that the key to all of this is education. And so to really, don't just look on YouTube, like really, and when you're at a show, Richard, you are so approachable and your staff is so approachable. And I know it's more of a team. It doesn't feel like, your minions. It really feels like this team of people who are so passionate about lights. Who would have thunk, right? But when you come into the booth, ask the questions. The next trade show, audience, the next trade show that you go to, come in, lay under the lights, experience it, understand what this technology is, because it is so much more than just being near some lights or holding a panel up on the skin. And that's what is really key here. Understand the proper technique for sugar. Understand the proper technique for how you use the LightStim. So I am going to segue that into talking about the most appropriate, easy to start way that you can use, like even just say the handheld to start, because how much is this unit for them to purchase?
Wholesale, it runs around $150 to start.
Okay, and then what are people usually, because you have a lot of people that retail these for home care too, correct?
Absolutely. We do have different models that are actually curved to be easier to hold onto yourself for retail. Okay. And since normal treatment with one of these handhelds is directly touching the skin 3 minutes per area, it also, for at home, we don't have it in the treatment room because, of course, ambiance it has a 3-minute timer that beeps.
Right.
So if you're at home using one of these and you're covering your whole face, maybe even part of your neck if your face is smaller than mine, because for those of you listening in, I kind of have a large head.
I love your head.
You get through your full face in about an episode of Grace and Frankie or some other 20 to 25-minute Netflix show.
Right.
And it's nothing where it comes with goggles, but really 95 to 99% of people don't use them with the handhelds because it is touching the skin. So you can be watching TV, lying in bed, don't need to be looking in the mirror. There's no complicated motions to be doing. In the treatment room, most people will start with 2 of the same handheld if they're trying to cover the full face, because that way you get through the full face in about 12 minutes. Mm-hmm. And you can use it on bare skin. It's something that you never need products with. And all of our LEDs personally are set to last 100,000 hours. And we make and manufacture everything in-house in Orange County, actually. Orange County, California, because there's many Orange counties. But because of that, we've had less than 0.5% of any of these lights returned in need of repair. So you always have to worry with equipment too on things like how long is it going to last? How long is it going to last once I make my return on investment on it and have that capital made back? And so you buy this once, you never even need to use it with product, although I recommend that just for the extra benefits and that synergy we talked about. And just immediately after service, just tap it on an area. Even if you just get one of these and you do an eyebrow wax, that's an extra 3 to 4 minutes per eyebrow right there where you just add it on. You can do an upper lip. Of course, you can use it for those smokers lines. Unfortunately, if people are still doing that damage in smoking, it's an uphill battle that you're fighting against, but that's a conversation for more time.
Yes, that's
But
even more education for your clients.
oh, we can once again educate and talk about these things for hours. And like you said, our whole team, our staff, we try to have a lot of licensed professionals so we can get you those answers. And so you don't feel like, oh God, is Richard not available? And I'm going to be talking to someone in sales. We're all education. And
Yeah.
that's
The other thing I want to point out here is this is a great introduction. So if you, for example, there's plenty of people, I would say 95% of my week is sugaring. I mean,
sure.
That's all I do is smooth skin with sugar, right? But there are plenty of estheticians out there who do facials and they have chosen to switch from wax to sugaring. So maybe they do a few brows a day or a few upper lips in addition to their facial, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I love about using a product like this, a tool like this, is it really gives you 3 minutes per brow, say, to talk to them about their skin. So say someone just comes into you to get their brows done, right? Coming in, they get their brows sugared, and you use this panel, 3 minutes on each side, you have time to talk to them and really almost take a look and analyze their skin. Hey, maybe there's someone new. Hey, help me to understand what you're using on your skin. I noticed that you're breaking out. Are you, tell me about your home care routine. And now you create this beautiful, it's like a little icebreaker, this beautiful, they trust you because you're using advanced technologies. They trust you because you're using sugaring instead of hot wax. And now they're going to trust you and you can book them for a facial. Or maybe you even send them home with home care. I'd like you to try out this cleanser. I really, really love this serum that might be nice for you. Now you've built your ticket with 6 minutes of spending a little bit of time, extra time. And when they're done, they're going to feel amazing. They're going to feel pampered and they're going to have less redness. I mean, it's like, why couldn't you do it?
And communication is a huge part of anything, and making that time for that, because during a service, you're usually constantly doing everything you can to get it done right there. And especially like you said, as you're starting out, you might be new to sugaring. In that case, you're going to be trying to get all the steps down and you're going to be in your head during that. Then right after, you have this easy, no nonsense thing to use that gives you that time to be able to talk to them. And to your point too, really make it so that you're separated as a professional, because you're suggesting that this is added in. You're trying to show that you know what's best, and having that confidence of being able to be the one adding in the services rather than making it some a la carte option where they're having these add-ons is absolutely wonderful. I would say for a full face, the minimum I usually see LED added in is $30, either as an incorporated price or an add-on. If you were to just do the eyebrows, that can be even a lesser, quicker price because you're only spending 6 minutes. But I personally, when I was using the panels for 20 minutes in my treatment room, I would incorporate in the pricing on average for myself, $60 for body, $80 for face, because people always pay more for the moneymaker. But
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So I'm sure that whoever's on their treadmill listening to this podcast or having a moment to themselves, they're nodding their head and they're like, okay, I want to learn more. So I know that I see you guys at just about every show that there is, which is really fun. It's kind of like a reunion every time we go to a new city.
oh, it's the best.
I know, it's fun. But where can someone get LightStim, learn more, train more? What's kind of the big picture for what you all offer?
So if you're in the Southern California area or feel like taking a nice tax write-off to our neck of the woods. We do hold about 6 to 8 in-house certifications every year, and we are run by a husband and wife, Joni and Steve. It's actually a family company. Both their sons work for us as well, and so they really keep it a family-like environment. And so we're more than open. We even have a full LED bed that we've gotten FDA cleared in office for pain. So if you're in the area, please stop by, because we'd love to get you scheduled complimentary for that appointment. We need to get you on that bed yourself. But we do also offer online certification, and it's kind of like a you invest in us, even down to just one handheld. We'll invest our time and energy into you, where we have these on-demand videos that, between myself and our director of education, Amy Gardner, we're always holding up the mirror to each other, seeing how we would want to edit it, how we want to update it, and keep this information fresh for today's sugar expert, esthetician, even up to medical professional. They're all the same lights that are being used throughout these different capacities. And so just like we have those full circle options for everything in the treatment room, we have full circle options for what you're able to do with education as well.
Oh, I love that. I love that we know the owners, we know the trainers. It's just so nice when, especially solo estheticians, feel a little bit like they're on an island in their small treatment room, and they're really not when they work with your company and when they work with mine. So that's what I love, and that's why I brought you on the show, is to just make sure that everyone can meet and feel like they have a friend now, and if they have any questions, they can contact you or anyone on your team through that website. And this is exciting. I'm gonna.
I've felt the same way. I listen to your podcast. I mean, it's not just like I'm someone coming on. And the fact that you talk oncology, the fact you talk sensitive skin, the fact that you talk setting yourself up for success in business, even with people who I'm personally a fan of, like lip gloss and aftershave.
Mm-hmm.
All of your messages are in line with everything that we feel for education as well. So it just makes me feel warm on the inside. It makes me happy. This is a great start to a Monday. And just in case you're wondering when we're recording this, it's like Thanksgiving week. So this is a perfect start to the holiday.
I'm feeling serious gratitude right now. I love it.
Serious gratitude. Oh, it's the best.
I love it. So audience, thank you so much for sticking with us in this, gosh, I feel like we could talk for hours and hours, and we actually do when we do get together. I'm really, really excited because we're going to be doing more together, LightStim and Love to Sugar. Shauna Rocha, as Richard has mentioned, is one of our educators, and so we're going to be doing some fun things with sugaring and showing you how to use lights in the treatment room and different ways that you can be in the treatment room and working with facials and sugar and whatnot. So we're going to spread the love, my friend.
We're going to spread the love. I love it.
Spread the love. Okay, so for those of you that are ready to learn more, you can go to LightStim and find out more about the products. You can get yourself a handheld unit to start, see how amazing it is, and then work your way like I am towards a panel. I am saving my money, and it'll be worth every cent. And I thank you for being a part of this and being a part of the sugar world. I love that we can introduce you to our sugar pros, and I look forward to seeing everyone in the next class. This has been fun.
Thank you so much, Shannon.
Okay, have a great one, everyone. Make it sweet.